Hello, my name is James Everard and today I'll be conducting a screening assessment of Patrick, as well as a warm-up and a cool-down. We'll start with a static stand and postural assessment, with front, side and back view, followed by an overhead squat assessment to evaluate movement patterns. Finally, I'll coach Patrick through a warm-up and a cool-down to demonstrate these components effectively. Now we'll start with a static stand and postural assessment. We'll begin with the front view. Patrick, please stand with your feet shoulder width apart, arms down by your side and relaxed. From this angle, I'm looking for symmetry between the shoulders, hips and knees, as well as head alignment. Okay, from here I can see his left shoulder is slightly higher than the right, which will indicate to me an upper left trap imbalance, or muscle tightness in the upper trap. You can also see that it is slightly tilted to the right, which will mean that he has a slight imbalance in his hips and a flexibility issue there also. We can also see that his right foot is flared outward, which will also indicate to me that there is a hip issue there. Now from the side view, Patrick. Here I'm focused on the alignment of the hips, shoulders, spinal curve. From this angle, I notice that there's a forward head posture, which may indicate tightness in the upper back and trapezius muscles. I can also see that there's a slight curvature in the back, which will indicate to me that there is also an upper back issue. Now we'll move to the rear. So that Patrick turns to the rear. I'll be checking for shoulder blade symmetry, hip alignment, and any visible spinal curvatures. I see that the shoulder blades are level, but the shoulder is slightly above, the left shoulder is slightly above the right, which will also indicate to me that there is an upper trap issue here, as well as a shoulder issue. That completes our postural assessment. Now we'll move on to the overhead squat. Now I'll explain and demonstrate the overhead squat to Patrick. In this movement, I'll stand with my feet shoulder width apart, arms over my head, parallel to my ears. My knees are going to be in line with my toes, and I'm going to squat down as much as possible. As you can see, my heels raise above the ground, which will also indicate to me that I have a hip issue. But now I'll assess Patrick. Okay, so from the front view here, I can also see that Patrick's range of motion is poor. I can see that his knees slightly cave outwards, which will indicate to me that there is a hip issue again. Now we'll turn to the side, Patrick. I can also see that Patrick's heels slightly raised above the ground, which will also demonstrate to me, or indicate to me, that there is a hip issue there also. Now we'll go from the rear. Yeah, so as you can see here perfectly, his heels slightly raised above the ground, which will indicate to me that he has tightness in the legs and a hip mobility issues. Okay, now we're going to move on to the warm-up. Before any exercise session, it's essential that we warm up the body to increase the blood flow, get the heart rate going, and get the muscles loose. From here, we're going to start with some dynamic warm-up movements. We're going to start with leg swings, arm circles, as well as lunges with a twist. Now I'm going to demonstrate these to Patrick, and then I'll have him perform the movements. So leg swings are simple, back and through. Now we're going to start with arm circles, small, and then we're going to increase the range of motion. And then we're going to move on to lunges with a twist. Simply lunge forward and rotate. Now we're going to have Patrick complete these movements.
Do 5 on each side?
Yeah. Try to keep the movement as controlled as possible. Okay, that's good, Patrick. Now we'll move on to the arm circles.
Reverse it then, is it?
Yeah. Okay, that's good, Patrick. Now we'll move on to lunges with a twist. Okay, that's good. Usually it provides some encouragement or some corrective exercises to improve his mobility, but as Patrick is very athletic, we don't really have to do that today. Okay, now we'll move on to the cool down. Cooling down is essential for gradually lowering the heart rate, releasing tension in the muscles, increasing flexibility, and lowering or aiding recovery. We'll focus on a few static stretches. The stretches that we're going to complete today are hamstring stretches, a shoulder stretch, and a deep breathing exercise to help bring down the heart rate. Okay, so now I'm going to demonstrate these to Patrick. So now, I'm going to start with a hamstring stretch. One leg out in front, slightly bend the left knee if it's the right leg. Hands here, left hand here, and try and touch the toe. Now I'm going to move on to the shoulder blade stretch, or the shoulder stretch. One arm across, the other arm interlocking, and just gradually try and increase that range of motion. And finally, I'm going to complete a deep breathing exercise, 4 seconds in, hold for 4 seconds, and 4 seconds out. Now I'm going to have Patrick complete these exercises. Okay, your left hand on, yeah, perfect. Okay, then we'll switch it. Okay, now the shoulder stretch. Just gradually increasing that range of motion. Perfect, switch it up. Perfect. And now we're going to move on to the deep breathing exercise. 4 seconds in, hold for 4 seconds, 4 seconds out. That's perfect. Just a quick one to know that usually when we're warming up, we'll try and hold these stretches for 10 to 15 seconds and cooling down, we'll try and hold for 10 to 20 seconds. Okay, so in this session, we complete a postural and overhead squat assessment, as well as a warm-up and a cool down. The assessment and exercise are essential for identifying movement patterns, preparing the body for activity, and aiding recovery. Thanks for watching.